Okay. All right. The program we ran. All right. The program we ran, as I give you all to do as assignment. I'm supposed to get input from the user and then perform a form of computation on it and the rest. So take, for example, I wanted you all to enter numbers between 0 and 10. Okay. Take, for example, I wanted you all to enter numbers between 0 and 10. Then there's no way. Yes, peculiar.
I'm ready. Should I share my screen?
All right, go on, share.
So excuse me.
Should we continue with the class?
Yes, sir.
We should continue with the class.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Someone left.
Yes, sir. There are about 2 people that left the class.
Um. All right, hold on. I think she is not here. Okay. So I said, let's all keep it down. If your environment is noisy, kindly mute yourself, please. All right. So I said, if you are trying to run a program, all right, you're trying to run a program in Python, and then you want certain conditions to be met before the program will run. Take, for example, I want to run a program that allows the user to get numbers from 1 to 10. It tells the user to enter a number between 1 to 10. Let's say our user is now a stubborn user that enters a number like 200. And then the instruction we give the user is enter a number between 1 and 10. And user enters a number like 400 or 500. We don't want our program to run. All right. Let's see that's the kind of program we want to build, that gives the restriction and gives condition. And once the condition is met, we want our program to run. Right. There are certain scenarios like that. Or let's see, you tell our user to enter in a value, enter in a number, and the user is entering string. All right. That kind of thing can crash our code. Take, for example, the code you wrote. If the user should impute a string, all right, as this input for X, that program is not going to run. It's going to give you an error. So what we'll be looking at today is how to use conditional statements, all right, to be able to give certain conditions that once they are met, our program should run. And if the conditions are not met, the program should not run. That's what we'll be considering today. All right. So as name goes, okay, sorry about that. As name goes, a program can decide which statements to execute. All right. Peculiar, are you sure you're ready now? Okay. All right, you can share now. Shima is not here. Okay. X, what is input for X? X plus 5. Whoa. Whoa. Peculiar, what did you write? Line 11, line 12, line 13, line 14. I'm completely lost. Run your code lesson. Yes, continue now. Enter a number. Continue, enter a number. Okay. Hit enter. So is this code doing what we want? Peculiar. What was the question? Can you unmute yourself? I want to hear you talk. The question was that whenever you input a number, all right, your code should take that number and calculate it. That was the question. Whatever user inputs, whatever the user puts inside, your code should take that input and calculate it. All right. But now your code is taking the number, but it's not using it. Yeah, someone said something. Um, what was the explanation? I can't hear you. You're asking me why. I want to know why is your code printing like this? The question I gave you was that your code should get input from the user, right? And that's what line 8 and line 9 is doing. Okay, that's what line 8 and line 9 is doing. Okay, and then line 10 is taking that x and adding 5 to it and saving it as total. Line 11 should be calculating 20% of this x that is in line 9. That's what line 11 should do. You calculate 20% of x that is in line 9. Then line 12 should calculate the x that is in line 9 raised to the power of 4. Then line 13 should calculate the power divided by percentage. Power is line 12, percentage is line 11. So that is what I expected you to do. So I'm going to share my screen now. She didn't do a very good job. So I'm going to do correction for that when I'm almost at the end of the class. Okay. All right. So I say we are going to put certain conditions for our code to run, and if these conditions are not met, our code is not going to run. All right. So now that is what conditional statement in Python is all about. There are conditions that we put for our code to run, and if the conditions are not met, the code is not going to run. All right. So I'm going to give a simple scenario of what I mean by this. Take for example, how many of us have gone to the ATM to withdraw before? All right, so Peculiar, if you look at the chat section now, Ephraim has helped you out already. So you can take a look at his code and see what he did. All right, and stop putting it under your cheek. Look at his code and do the right thing. Yeah, Ephraim, what's it? You are muted, I can't hear you.
You asked if you went to a team, so I raised my hand that I've gone to.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So how many of us have gone to use the ATM before? Yes, I think your brother is raising his hand also. Yes, how many of us have gone to use the ATM before? Anybody?
I've used it.
You have used ATM before. Peculiar, what about you?
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, Chima, welcome back. You went for a while. I hope no problem. I hope your network is good now.
Yes, sir, it's okay now, stable.
Okay. So how many of us have used the ATM before? Ephraim, Sheyi, Chima, what about you? Have you used the ATM before?
Sir, please, what did you say?
Have you used the ATM before? The ATM at the bank. Have you used an ATM before?
Yes, sir.
Pekulia, what about you?
Why do I use ATM?
Okay. Someone is not here. Okay, I think this should be all. All right. So aside that, everyone else has used ATM before. Okay. So if you notice that for those of us that have used ATM before, if you notice that when you go to the ATM, you put in your ATM card, right, and then you tell you to choose a language, right, and you select English. So based on your choices, based on you are the user now, imagine you're the one that wrote the code for the ATM, right? So you are the user now. Any input you make, take for example, you enter, you ask to select the language, and you select English, or you select French, or you select Yoruba, all right? So whatever you select, okay, a different set of code is going to run, and it's going to give you a different set of outputs. Take for example, after you select English and you put in your pin, all right, there'll be an option for, I'm not too sure which is it, but there'll be an option for withdrawal, check account balance, perform other transactions, and also to recharge your phone. Take for example, you choose to withdraw, all right, the options, the code that is going to run, and the option that is going to provide for you on the next screen is going to be completely different when you choose to when you choose to buy recharge cards, like when you choose to recharge your phone. Okay, so there are different options there based on your input as a user. A completely different set of code is going to run to give you a different output. Hold on, sorry. All right, so that's how the ATM works. Any input you put in there is going to give you a completely different output. If you select to that you want to withdraw, it's going to give you this whole screen will be populated with different amounts, 10,000, 5,000, 50,000 to select from. If you select that you want to recharge your phone, different options is also going to come up for you to choose from. So that's a perfect example of conditional statements. All right. So you go to the ATM. Let me try and demonstrate what it means here. You go to the ATM and it's showing you, do you want English, French, do you want or Yoruba? All right. And then you come here, you select English. Once you select English, the different options you are going to see now for English, you will see something completely different. Do you want to withdraw? Do you want to recharge? Do you want to check balance? All right. So the completely different options, all right? If you select recharge, okay, it's going to create give you a screen for you to enter the amount that you want. All right. So based on the user's choice, based on the user's input, a completely different set of code has been run to show you the outputs that you are seeing there. All right. So that's just a perfect example of what conditional statement is in Python. And that's what we are going to be doing today. All right. And in this particular place, we'll be making use of Booleans a lot. All right. We're making use of Booleans all this while. Bimi, you're welcome. All this while we'll be making use of integers, floats, and the rest. So we're making use of Booleans in this particular lesson. Okay. We're making use of Booleans to compare, right? So most especially, we said that the Booleans are just to write true and false. Okay, true and false, true and false. Okay, that are the basic booleans that we have. The only two booleans we have. Okay, so what we basically use booleans for is to check for comparison between numbers. All right, so I'm going to write these various symbols and you're going to tell me what it is. Okay, next one is going to be this. The next one is this. The next one is this. All right. So you all should look at the screen and tell me what are these various symbols. So everyone
Greater
should know.
than.
Yes, greater than another person. Shay, you don't answer again.
Sir, less than.
Less than. Hold on. This is less than. The next one is what?
Greater than and equal to.
Yes, this is greater than, and it's not and, it's or. Equal to.
Or.
Equal to. Yes. Next person.
Less than and equals to.
Less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. Yeah, the next one.
What's that?
Hmm?
So I can't even see it.
You can't see it.
Yes.
They are both equal to.
Exactly. This is equal to or equality.
Quality.
The next
Equality.
one, which is this one? What is this one?
Exclamation mark and equal to.
Yes. So this thing means not
Not equal to.
exactly. Not equal to. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what this thing means basically. In Python, this sign means, remember, you know that if you're writing in your note, if you want to write less than or equal to, this is not how you're going to write it. All right. If you want to write greater than or equal to in your note, this is how you're going to write. You're going to write greater than and put the other equal to under the greater than. But because this is code, this is the only way you can represent greater than and equal to. All right. So these things here are just basically to make comparisons between two things. Right? To compare between two things, if they are equal, if they are greater than each other, if they are less than each other. All right. So let's see something here. If I'm to enter 12 greater than 3, all right, so I should hit the run button now, hit enter now. You see that instead of you to get like a number or something, what you are going to see is true. All right. So what Python does is that Python checks these two integers now and checks if this is greater than this. Once Python sees this comparison operator here now, this greater than operator now, it checks the right hand side and the left hand side if it obeys this operator. And then look at what it returns to us. It returns true. It doesn't return any number or any string or any data type. The data type it returns is a Boolean called what's true. Second example, let's say we try 2 less than 3. Hit enter, it's going to return what's true. That's because what 2 is actually less than 3. So whenever you're using these comparison operators, what is going to return to you as your answer is what is either a true or a false. So if I'm to write something like this, if I'm to equate this to a variable, say for example, I want to see x is equals to 12 greater than 3. All right, and I'm trying to get x, you're going to see that it's going to print out true. That's because this data type true has been saved as into this variable what x. All right, so if you try out the remaining ones, 2 greater than or equals to 4 is going to give me a false, right? Now because 2 is not greater than or equals to 4. The next one, 2 less than or equals to 4 is going to give me a true. Okay, so just to be clear, who can explain to me, Ephraim and Chima, both of you, can you tell me, Ephraim, you go first. Can you tell me what this greater than or equal to means? Take for example, hold on. Take for example, we have a range of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, and I'm telling you to tell me the numbers that are greater than or equal to 5. Can you tell me the numbers? Hello, Ephraim, are you there? Okay, Chima, can you go?
Sir, I should explain what that greater or equal to means.
Yes, with the example I gave, I said if you have a range of numbers from 1 to 10, and I'm telling you that you should select the numbers from that range of 1 to 10 that are greater than or equal to 5. What numbers will you select out?
I'll start from 5 to upwards
You select
to
from
reach
5
10.
to the end of the range, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where's Ephraim? Ephraim, are you there?
Sir, I don't.
Yeah, I want Ephraim to answer the second one. I think he has audio issues because I can't hear him. All right, so Peculiar, can you go now? Can you tell us what if you the range of numbers from 1 to 10? All right, and say you select numbers that are less than or equal to 5. What's it going to be? From 1 to 10, and you have to select numbers that are less than or equal to 5. What will your answer be? I can't hear you. You are muted. You should unmute yourself.
Is that not 1 to 5?
Are you asking me? I'm asking you for answer. You're
Oh,
asking me
sorry,
back.
sorry. I said 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So the less than or equal to sign shows that it is going to start, and the number is supposed to end with is going to be what? Inclusive. All right. This equality sign is to show the inclusiveness of what the last number is supposed to end with or to start with. All right. So this double equality sign, now take note that it is different. It is different from single equality sign. All right. So the difference is that the single equality sign is used to assign values to variables. All right, that's the use of the single equality sign. And then double equality is used to what? To check for equality between two data types, or between two values. Let's just put that way, between two values. All right, it's just to check for equality between two values. The single equality sign is to assign a values to a variable, but the double equality sign is towards to check for equality between two values. All right, so if I to try this out, let me say I'm trying 12 equals to 4. It's going to print out what's 4 because 12 is not equals to 4. All right, but if I'm trying 12 equals to 4 like this, it's going to give me what? An error. Okay, and likewise you can also use these various operators now, these various conditionals. All right, you can also use them, comparison operators, sorry, you can also use them for strings and in other data types. Take for example, I can check true equals to true. It gives me true because true is equal to true. This might be a little bit confusing. False equals to false, and it's going to give me what? True. And because false here, what's on the right hand side equals to what's on the what? Left hand side. You can also try just as your imagination leads you. Take for example, I can say a string of A greater than string of C, hit enter, and it's going to give me false. All right. So in Python, as the alphabets go from A to Z, all right, the word it's great, it becomes bigger than the rest. As it's increasing, so is what is the value increasing. All right. So it's starting from A is the lowest, then going up onto B, C, D, up onto Z. So Z has the highest strength there out of all the words, all the characters in the English alphabet. Okay, so then you can also try this out for floats and the rest. 12.001 greater than, sorry, greater than 12.0001, and this is going to give you 2 because this is actually greater than what? Than this. All right, So the not equality sign is used to check, is used to return if things, used to check if two things are not equal. Take for example, as I'm checking here that 12 is what equals to 4 is printing out false, right? That's because 12 is not equals to 4. But if I'm checking now that 12 is not equal to 4, it's going to print out what? Look at them what to print out. Anybody? She
True.
is going to print out.
It's not equal to 4, so it's going to print out true.
Okay. So this is going to print out
It's
true.
false.
No, it's going to print
So
out.
true.
Okay. Why is it going to print out true is because this conditional in the middle, what it checks for is if this is not equal to this. And if they are not equal, it's going to print out true. But if they are equal, it's going to print out false. 12 not equals to 12. It's going to print out false. That's because they are equal. And this conditional only tests, it only returns true if they are not equal. All right, that's what it has been built to do. All right, so we are all clear on the various operators, conditional operators. Okay, and then also just like I think I forgot to mention this, you can also use, just like you have specific functions for converting from string to integer and from integer to string. All right, integer to from float to integer using the int function, and then from all the other data types to string using the str function. There's also a special function for the float and also for the boolean also. All right, for the float, sorry, someone said something just now. Okay, which part are you not clear on, Peculiar? Hello, Peculiar, can you hurry up?
I said what you just finished saying.
Okay, what I meant was, that, take for example, we have 12 equals to 12. This double equality sign here, it means that what is on the right hand side is equal to what is on the left hand side, right? And if they are equal, if what is here is equals to this, it's going to print out what's true. Why is it going to print out true? Because it obeys the condition in the middle. The condition in the middle says that for this thing to evaluate to true, what's on the right hand side must be equal to what's on the left hand side. For this one also, 12 greater than 3, right? The condition in the middle what is greater than. And for this condition to evaluate to true, what's on the right hand side must be greater than what's on the what? What's on the left must be greater than what's on the what? On the right. This is our left hand side and this is our right. Okay. So what's on the left must be greater than what's on the what? On the right. For this condition in the middle to evaluate to true. Likewise for the less than, 12 less than 3, right? What is here is supposed to be less than what is here for this condition to evaluate what to true. But in this case now, because this part is not less than this, it's going to evaluate to false. Likewise, this one, not 12 not equal to 2, right? So the condition in the middle is that for this operation to evaluate to true, what is on the left hand side must not be equal to what's on the right hand side if this is to evaluate to true, right? And if it's to evaluate to false, what's on the right hand side must be equal to what's on the left hand side. So if I run this and I hit enter now, you can see that it is true. It's obeying the condition in the middle, which says that what is on the left hand side must never be equal to what's on the right hand side. I think that should be the simplest way to explain this. Hope you understand now. Okay, that's good. All right. So I mentioned about the various types of conversion where we can use str and int function to convert to string and to convert to integer, especially. So the next one that I forgot to mention is the float, the float function, which converts any input to what? To a float. So whatever you put inside the bracket is going to be converted to a float. Remember, you are putting 12 as an integer and it's converting into 12.0, which is a float. Even if I pass in a float there also, 12.1, hit enter, you're going to give you 12 as a float. If I pass in a string of integer 12.12, sorry, 12 as a string of, this is a string of integer. I hit enter, it's going to give me 12.0 as a float. I pass in a string of float 12.1. All right, it's going to give me 12.1. So this is the special function for this, for converting to floats. Right, we've calculated for integer string. Yes,
I don't get.
you don't understand the float function.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Yesterday we talked about the int function. I hope you're familiar with that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, talk about the int function, talk about the str function, right? So what you're trying to say now is that the float function is like the int function or the str function. What it does is that it converts any input, any data type, to what? To its own to its own data type, which is a float. Its own data type is a float. So it converts any input to its own data type. All right. So what we are putting inside, remember, if you are going to use an int function normally, you pass in something into it. Take for example 23, and then sorry, and then I'm closing this. Is going to give you 23 as an integer. So likewise, the float function, whatever you pass into it is going to be converted to a float. So I'm passing an integer now. All right, let's say I want to pass in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3 as an integer, and I want to convert it to a float. If I hit the enter, it's going to be converted to a float, which is 12.123.0. Right? But in most cases, it is used for converting strings to floats. In the sense that we have a string of 122.45, right? Like this now, you cannot perform any form of computation on this because this is a string. You cannot perform any form of arithmetic operation. You cannot do square, you cannot do power, you cannot do subtraction and addition here because what is a string. So for us to be able to do addition, you have to convert it to either
Sir,
an integer or a float. Yes, if you
I'm just coming, sir. Please, can you please explain what you've done?
okay. Which part do you get disconnected?
When you were explaining this not equal to greater than,
Okay. All right, let me see. Who else is not here? Everyone else is here. All right. So what I said about these various operators are the greater than sign. All right. The way the greater
yes,
than sign works is that whatever is on the right hand side must obey the condition in the middle. All right. This is a condition. This thing we are putting in the middle like this now is a condition. All right. That what is on the left hand side must be greater than what is on the what right hand side. Okay. So if it obeys this condition, this statement is going to print out what is true. If it doesn't obey it, it's going to print out what false, right? So we try the same thing for less than 12 less than 2, which is false. Then it prints out what false. Okay, we went to greater than or equal to greater than or equals to equals to 2. It prints out true because the left hand side and the right hand side obeys this condition, right? Going to the next one, 12 less than or equals to 2. It prints out what false because it doesn't obey the condition. The condition in the middle says that what's on the left hand side must be what less than or equal to what's on the what right hand side. So we left that, we went to the next one, which is the line 8 double equality. And I explained double equality. What it does, it checks if what you are passing on the left hand side and the right hand side are equal. If I pass in 12 equal to 3, right? This double equality in the middle now checks if the condition here is that what's on the left hand side must be equal to what's on the right hand side for it to evaluate to true. If they're not equal, it's going to evaluate to false. So if I'm hitting enter now, it's going to give you false because it doesn't obey the condition in the middle, right? Likewise, the next one, which is what not equal to. So if I put 12 equals to 12, it's going to give me what? True. So 12 not equals to 3. So the condition here is that what is on the left hand side must never be equal to what is on the right hand side. That's the condition here. So if what is on the left hand side is not equal to what on the right hand side, this is going to print out true, right? Because what is on the left hand side is not equal to what on the right hand, and that's what it obeys the condition in the middle. The condition in the middle is that they must not be equal, and it obeys it. All right. So that's the various conditions we have in what in Python.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So we are explaining the float function before you came in. All right. So we said the float function, whatever you pass into it, you pass in a string. Sorry, you pass in a string 12.445. All right, a string of what that contains a float. All right. So when I hit the enter, the float function is going to convert it from a string. What you pass inside the bracket is a string. All right. It converted it from a string to what to a float. 12.445 is a float. That is what the float function does. Converts any input type to its own particular what data type. Do you understand? Chima, is this clear enough, or should you want me to still explain more? Hello, Chima.
Sir,
Yes, I can hear you.
no, I did not want to ask a question.
Okay, you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right, Gbemi, are you feeling what we are doing? Hello, Gbemi. Hello, Gbemi. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you and I understand.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the next thing here is what. Remember we said we have 4 data types. We've talked about integer, float, string, and the next one is Boolean. So in Python, 0, right? 0 represents false, while 1 represents true. Okay, 0 represents false, while 1 represents true. So if I should do something like this, bool is the function for converting to what? Converting to Boolean data type. All right. So you can see I'm putting bool 0 is giving me false, and then bool 1 is giving me what? True. So the bool is the function for what? For converting to the Boolean data type. Let's try the other inputs. Bool 12. Let's see what's going to give us. It's going to give us true. So it's only any number that you input it is going to give you true. It's only 0 that's what's going to give you what? False. All right. Any number you input inside the bool function is going to give you what? A true. Right. So only when it is what? It is 0 that is going to give you false. Let's try bool 7 giving us true. It's only bool what? 0 that gives us false. Do you understand? This is a very, very simple one, the bool function. Okay. So that's basically what we have to do there. So the next thing we'll be considering is something in Python called, remember we said we are going to conditionals today. Something in Python called what? If statements. All right. Something in Python that we call if statements. If statements. All right. And as the name suggests, it's what is a condition in Python whereby if something is being met, you should run a block of code. Let's take for example, I want my code to print Sheyi loves to code, right? I want it to print hold on. print Ephraim loves to code. I want to print Chima loves to code. I want to print Bemi loves to code. Right? But I don't want it to run yet until the user tells us to start. All right? I want to run all this code now. But if I hit the run button now, everything is going to run immediately. But I don't want all these people to see that I'm praising them, that they like to code. So I want them to be able to enter something first before they can see that I'm praising them, that they know how to code. So how am I going to do it? That is where if statement comes in, right? So in if statement allows a condition to be met before all this code is going to be run. So if this condition is not met, this code will never run. All right. So let's say I don't want all these people now to know that I'm praising that they know how to code. I will set a difficult condition that if they don't meet the condition, they will never get to see, never ever, even till Jesus come, they can never see this line of code, all of them here. So there's no way they will know I'm praising them. So now let's go to if statement now. So the way you write if statement, you start it with the if keyword. If, can you see? If, okay, then what you now put inside after the if is the condition that you want it to follow. All right, then condition goes here. All right, after the condition, then you put what? A colon. After the colon, you hit enter. After you hit enter, you see that there is a tab, a space from the beginning of if to where my black cursor is blinking. All right, there is a space between the beginning of I in line 14 and where my line is blinking. That is the tab to show you that this is all this code now should be inside there, right? So if this condition is being met, it should run all this thing. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to set the condition as what? Let me print something out first. All right, if you want to see me praise you, calculate the 100th root 100th power of 7. Right, let's say this is a difficult condition now. All right, and I'm not saying x is equals to 7. All right, this is the condition I'm giving now. Okay, so for me to put this condition, that's why we first of all talked about what these conditionals here. All right, now we talk about these conditionals now. So now the condition I want to put now is if x is equal to 7, it should print what? Print this thing. But if x is not equal to 7, don't print it. So I can come and specify x equals to 2 here. If x equals to 2 and run it, right? The condition we state is that x must be equal to what? 7. Right? And what is x? 2. Okay? So if x is equals to what? To 7, it should what? Run this block of code. It should run line 17 to 20. Right? And after that, let's come and print something here. Print end of code. Right? Let's run this and see now. If I should run it now, just going to tell you, if you want to see me praise you, calculate the 100th power of 7. All right, and after that, it shows you who's dropping a message for me. You don't still get peculiar. Which part of it don't you understand?
When we said if print if you want to, I can't see it from the share from that side. From line 16.
You can't see the screen, or you can't.
I
Or
can't
you
see
don't
the
understand?
screen. I don't understand.
Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is that the way the if statement works is like this. You first of all start with the keyword if. First of all, start with the keyword if. Then what goes into the bracket is your condition. The condition can be what we just explained before. All these things here, we just explained. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. All right, these are the conditions that we can use here. Okay, so the condition can be if 5 is equals to 7, or if 5 is greater than 7, or if 1 is less than or equals to 3, or anything you want to put. But these are the conditions that we have to use. So let us try. Let me put the format, the blueprint of how to write it. If condition, then put your colon. Right, this colon is very, very important. If I put your colon, you hit enter. After I hit enter, most mistake that people make is that they remove the space here and come here. But you have to put the space here. If not, the code is not going to run the way you want it. You have to put the space here from the line where I is to this place. If you come here, once you write the code and you put colon and you hit enter, Python will automatically give that space for you. So if you're working on your REPL environment, now you can try it also. You see that it works very well. After it works very well, you can now type any code you want. Do this. Because what you want is that if this condition is met, do this. All right, I want you to do this, do something else again, do this again, do something else again, do this. All right, anything I want you to do, I'll just put it here. That's if this condition is what is met. But if this condition is not met, it will not enter inside this place. Do you understand? So that is what this is just trying to show us. So now in this case now, if you look at what I'm writing here, I'm printing out an instruction first of all, and then I can just come here and put what, instead of, let's say this place is confusing you, I can just come here and put if 2 is equals to 7, print this. So I'm going to run this. Once I run this, it's not going to run. Okay, sorry, I didn't. Okay, once I run this, you're not going to see this block of code. And why are you not going to see it? Because 2 is not equals to what? 7. Right? The condition is that for you to enter this block of code, this condition statement here must evaluate to true. This condition you put here now, right? Inside this condition you're putting here now must evaluate to true, which is what? 2 equals to 7. It evaluates to false. That's why it doesn't enter here. Had it been this condition now evaluates to true, it will enter inside this place and run all the code here. Right? Because this condition does not evaluate to true, that's why it doesn't enter here. All right, I can try another condition and say if 2 is greater than 7, hit the run button. It's still not going to run because this condition evaluates to what? To false. 2 greater than 7 gives us what? False. So for us to run this thing, you have to put a condition here that evaluates to true. Let's say 4 less than 7, which is true. And I hit the run button now, then it runs everything. Notice that after it runs this one, it runs this thing inside here, then it comes to what? To run line 22. But if I put a condition that does not evaluate to true, take for example this, you notice what happens? It skips this line 16 to 20 as if it doesn't exist, and print line 14 and print line 22. Did you notice? Print line 14 and like what? Line 22. It omits this block of code as if it doesn't exist. Right? That is what this conditional statement what does for us. Did you understand this? No. Does anyone understand this? Let me know what you think.
So not really. I
You're still
understand.
you're still confused on it.
Mm, just
Okay.
a bit.
Anybody else? She, are you good?
I understand.
You don't understand?
I understand. I understand.
Okay, okay. If you, what about you?
So I don't understand.
Okay, give me, what about you? Look, Gbemi.
So I understand.
Okay. Peculiar, what about you? Peculiar. I can't hear you. Hope you know.
I said yes, sir.
You understand?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me go over it again. When we explained conditionals, right? When we explained conditionals, what did we say? We said that these conditionals now, greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, double equality, and not equal to. When you try them out, right, the answer, what they return to you, is either what, true or false. 12 greater than 2 gives us true. Is that not so? 12, not 3 great 3 greater than 12 gives us what, false. That's because this condition is not met. The condition says that this 3 must be greater than 12, but 3 is not greater than 12. That's why it's giving us what, false. In this condition now, in like the first one we are saying here, the condition is that 12 must be greater than 2, but this condition is not met. That's why what is printing what, this condition is met, sorry, this condition is met. That's why it's what's printing true. Right? It's not about conditions that, conditionals is that what you are putting there must be met. If the condition is not obeyed, let me use obeyed. If the condition is not obeyed, it's going to what, give you false. If the condition is obeyed, it's going to give you true. Just as simple as that. If the condition is not obeyed, it's giving you false. If the condition is obeyed, it's giving you what, true. Simple as that. So whatever all these conditions we are having here now, if the condition is not obeyed, let's try the next one. 3 less than or equals to 6. Is this condition obeyed or not? It's obeyed because 3 is less than or equals to what, 6. So because it is obeyed, it's going to give us what, true. Right? Because it's going to give us true. Likewise, the other ones, 3 equals to 6. Right? The condition is that this 3 now must be equals to 6. Is this obeyed? It's not obeyed, so it's going to give us false. Likewise, the last one, not equals to 3, not equals to 6. The condition is that 3 must not be equals to 6. Is the condition obeyed? Yes, because 3 is not equals to what? It's not equals to 6. So we hit enter and it gives us true. All right. So for if statements now, all right. So I'm sure everyone understands these conditionals. For if statement now, what if statement works is this is it. This is the blueprint of how to work with if statement. Your if statement must always have these things now. It must have an if keyword. This is a keyword, if. You must have what? An if keyword. You must have what? An if keyword. Okay? And then a condition. There must be what? A condition for it to what? To work very well. If there's no condition, the if statement is not going to work. It needs a condition for it to work. Okay? So now what we are going to do now is this. The condition is that whatever we put inside the brackets is the condition. And we can put any of these conditions now inside the bracket. Right? So the if statement is that, okay, this is how to put it. The if statement is only going to run if what is in the bracket evaluates to true. It's just like saying, if true, do this. Do you understand? This if statement now is only going to work if what is here is what is true. right? I can just put it like this: if true, do this. All right. So and what we can do here is also, instead of writing it like this, the various conditions we are seeing here, we can just come and say let x be equal to 12 greater than 2. All right. So you can now come and say if x, this should just complicate things. To just complicate things. Let's just look at it this way. All right. If this is if condition, right? If this condition is equals to true, let me put it this way. If condition is equals to true, do this. If condition is not equal to true, nothing here is going to run. This is what if statement does. Like I said, for the bank, the ATM at the bank, if the user does not put English, or the user does not put withdraw cash, there's no way to give you option to tell you to select amounts that you want to withdraw. There's no way. If there's any ATM like that, you can't throw it away. So if the user does not put in that he wants to withdraw cash, right, there's no way the ATM is going to give him option to select amount he wants to withdraw. So the user has to click in what withdraw cash for the what all the codes inside that if statement to run. If the condition does not evaluate to true, that means if the user does not click on withdraw cash, that is the conditions there, right? For the ATM, if user does not click on cash, it's not going to run this code in the if statement. So likewise for this one now, if our condition is not equals to true, it's not going to run this block of code. All right. And what are our conditions? 12 greater than 2, 3 greater than 12, 3 less than equals to 6, 3 equals to 6, 3 not equals to 6. These are our various conditions. So I can just come here and put them now. 3 greater than 12. All right. So 3 greater than 12 is what? Is true. So what I'm saying is if true is equals to what? To true. So there's no point doing that. Just going to come and remove this one. That means if 3 greater than 12, that means if what's true. If 3 greater than 12 is equals to true, should run this. If 3 greater than 12 is not equals to true, don't run anything. Then our question that we solved here, where is it? Okay. So you said if 4 greater than 3, greater than 7, if 4, what you are indirectly saying is that if 4 greater than 7 is equals to true, print this. Let's put equals to true to show that to still run the same way. You see, because 4 greater than 7 is not equals to true, it doesn't run. But if I now say if 4 if 7 greater than 4 is equals to true, run this. Okay, so if this
Excuse
condition,
me, sir.
yes,
That is what you write in line 20, the last line.
22.
Yes, sir. Don't leave me like.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
So please don't remove it again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so moving on. If these conditions now inside this bracket is being met, if the condition evaluates to true, all right, it will print these lines of code. Do you want to understand this now?
Yes, sir.
If you don't understand, you can ask any question you want to ask. I will try and explain it. Any
Yes.
part of it, any part of this that doesn't make sense to you, just draw me back. Is everyone clear on this now? Okay. So now, like I said,
Yes, sir. We can get it.
okay, hold on, my environment is loading. Okay. So I can come here like we used before. Remember, in this pattern, we can use input statements. Let's not jump things first. So x equals to 2, and I said what if x is greater than 7. Let's take for example, I want to put x equals to 2. So the time I only want this code to run is when what x gets to what to 7. All right. So if I should run this now, print it does, because x is not equal to 7, it doesn't run it. I notice that it only prints out what line 14 and line 23. Why? Because this code in line 17 to 21 is not going to be printed because the condition here in line 17 is what is not met. So that means everything here doesn't work unless it is met before it what prints it out. So now if x is now equals to 8, but if you hit run now, it's going to run everything out because the condition of what has been met. So we can try something like this now and ask the user to input something. All right, let's make it more interactive. Enter a number between 1 and infinity. Okay, so now for us to work with this, we have to convert it to an integer. All right, so can I say x is equals to int x? All right, I've converted it to integer and saved it in what? In x. So I'm not comparing now. If x is greater than 7, should do this. All right, so I run this now. It asks us enter a number between 1 and infinity. That also. So let's enter 2. Hit enter. It doesn't work. I run it again. Enter a number between 1 and infinity. I enter 6. Hit enter. It doesn't work. Run it again. Enter a number. I hit 9. Enter. It prints out everything. Okay, so this is how conditional statements works. So does anyone understand this? I'm trying to move on. Does everyone understand this? If you're clear, if you're sure you understand this, I'm trying to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
Okay. All right. So in Python, you can use multiple if statements,
So
just
then,
like you can use
sir, I'm not hearing you.
multiple.
Sir, I can't hear you. Sir, I can't hear you. Sir.
I said you can use multiple if statements. Okay, hold on. I think it's. Can you hear me? Can you hear me in chat? I'm here. Hear me.
I can't hear you clearly.
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you
How
now.
about now? Is this still
Sir, we can all hear you.
breaking? Okay, I think I got my network.
Come
I think
on.
got messy.
Move away, I beg.
Okay, my network got messy. Okay, all right. So y'all can see my screen. Um, um, me, you are the host now. Can you make me host now? My network got disconnected. Okay, thank you for that.
I've made you the host.
Still just yeah, I've seen it already. Thank you. Okay, all right. So that's what I said. We can use multiple if statements in just like we can use multiple print statements in Python. You can also use multiple if statements. Sorry. Take for example, I want the user, if the x is greater than 7, you should print this, and also if x is what, less than 7, you should print out that they don't like to code. So I'm copying this out and I'll print it out. Hits coding. Not hits. Hits is a strong word. He's a lazy programmer. Okay. Let's have to copy this. You know this is not true, right? So no one should come and fight me. I'm just writing codes.
Sorry.
Okay, sir.
All right.
I better see use another name.
I choose another person's name.
Yes, sir. Because they can take it
Yeah,
personal.
that's
That also
true.
works.
I noticed. Good luck is not here. Is good luck here?
No, sir.
So let's just move on.
Hold on, just give me a second. Mhm. Let's continue. Okay, so hope no one here is taking it personal. So it's not my fault. It's if the user enters a number less than 7. So you blame our user. If whoever the user is enters a number less than 7, they will blame the user. So what I want is that if this is greater than 7, you should print out this. And if it's Peculiar's name is not here. Why?
Huh?
I should put your name in the last one, safe. No, that's not for. Peculiar, you look like a lazy programmer. You have okay. All right. So let's run it now. Run this block of code now. It asks our user for inputs. What delay? Was the network. Okay, let's try it again. I think it's the network. Okay, yeah, it's working now. So it asks if you have to enter a number between 1 and infinity. All right. So our user is a very, very nice user. I'm not the one typing this now, it's the user that's typing it. So the user types in 9 for the first time. Very, very good user. And it was prints out that she likes to code, everyone likes to code. All right. So then now run it again. The user now gets angry and sees that
I can't see
everybody's
the
lazy.
screen. It seems it's my network.
How about now? Can you see now?
No.
Hold on. Let me stop sharing and share again. How about now?
Hello, sir. Okay. Are you okay?
Can you see now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, she. Okay. So I said when we tried it first time, the user enters a good number. So all of a sudden, our user gets angry and enters a small number, and then it prints out that everyone is a lazy programmer. All right. So the way it works is that if the user enters, the way Python reads this code, all right. My network is shaky. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The way this code works is that when you run this block of code, when you run this code, Python starts from line 14, right? Start from line 14, it prints out this, and it comes here, asks for input. After this, it enters input, converts it to an integer, All right. So it checks from here if your input is greater than 7. If it's greater than 7, it prints out this thing. Then it comes down again. If it's not greater than 7, it comes down to see the next line of code to run it. It comes down now, it checks if your input is less than 7. If your input is less than 7, it prints this thing out. All right. If your input is not less than 7, it comes and what and prints this out. So there's no way your input is going to be greater than 7 and not less than 7. So it has to be in either sides. Okay. So if it doesn't print this out, it comes out and what and prints this one and then prints what end of code. All right. So for any condition, if our code obeys both condition, it's going to print out both of them. Take for example, I'm printing out greater than, let's say greater than 12. All right. Remember the condition here is that it must be greater than 7 and this one is greater than 12. All right. So let's run it to see. All right. Let's say our user enters a number like 8. It just prints out this, right? If you run it again and the user enters a number greater than both of them. Take for example 20. 20 is greater than 7 and 20 is greater than 12. So it prints out both of them.
Sir,
Shay loves to code. Yes.
what if you type 7?
It
If
will
you
not
type,
print.
yeah,
Oh,
if you type 7, it's not print out because at this point now the condition that it must be greater than 7. Right? That means if we say greater than 7, 7 is not included. It's from 8 upwards. But if I include greater than or equal to, right, 7 is included. Likewise here, they are put greater than or equals to. That means 12 is included. That was the meaning of this greater than and less than or less than or what greater than.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. So that's just what it is. So because of that, I would like you to guys to do something quickly. I've already prepared your assignments already. What you are going to. Okay, let's do one more thing before.
I'm done.
So what do you say?
I said I'm done with this example.
Okay, no problem. All right. What I want you guys to do for me is let me explain one more thing before I'll explain your assignments, then the rest. Okay, so let's take for example, we want to use multiple conditions. It's something that we call logical operators in Python. Logical operators. All right. Logical operators are and, or, not. Right? And, or, not. Okay? And, or, not. So these are three basic logical operators we have in Python. And then they are used to what? To join conditions together. Right? Join conditions together. That's just a simple way to put it. All right. They are used to join conditions together. Take for example, I want that if our condition, if x is greater than 7 and less than 12, you should print this out, right? I can put here if x is greater than or equals to 7 and what x is what less than 12. That means if it has to obey both conditions for this code to run. If it only obeys one because of the and here, and means both of them at the same time. So because of the and here, it is not going to run. It will only obeys one. For this code to run, it has to obey both of what? Both of them. Do you understand? And likewise here, I can put greater than this, or let's try with and first. And x less than 20. Let's I want it to be more than 20. All right. So we should run this now. You find out that you find out that if the user enters number between
So I can't hear you. You're cracking.
I can't hear you. You're cracking.
and 12. He's going to print this out because he's going to obey the condition.
Ugh.
And if you know user is number between 12, it prints the serious file and enters okay. How about
My laptop.
hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Network
sir.
is very shitty.
Yes, sir.
How's it going? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So I'm running this now where we were before. So I run this block of code now. So I'm entering a number between 1 and infinity. If I enter
Sir, you are cracking.
um, 9, hold on, network. Sure. Okay. All right. How about now? Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes,
Okay.
No,
sir.
sir.
So at this point in time, our code. Okay. At this point in time, our code has run, and we are entering 9. And we notice that the 9 we entered is between 7 and 12. So because 9 is between 7 and 12, this code is going to run from line 19 to line 23. All right. So because the code we entered, because the number we entered is 9, let's hit enter to see what's going to happen. Once we enter, it's printing out Shay loves to code and the rest. That's because it came here, it tested this 9 for this one now, for this condition. It checks if x is greater than 7, and then if x is what? Greater than 12. If our code
Sir,
obeys these two conditions.
can you repeat yourself?
Hello?
I really didn't get these last words you said.
Okay. All right. I said, let's run the code again. All right. So our code asks for user input. Whatever the user inputs here, the code is going to test it for this condition and this condition. All right. And then both of them have to evaluate to true for this line of code to what to run from line 19 to 23. All right. After it tests that one, it comes here to test this one also. And both of them also have to evaluate to true for this line of code to run. Okay, so I'm going to come here and put in 9. If you put in 9, hit enter, it's going to print out this. And why is it printing out this? It tests 9 for this. 9 greater than 7. 9 greater than or equals to 7. It gives us true. And then 9 less than 12 gives us true also. And this one runs. After it does that, it comes to the next place. 9 greater than equals to 12 gives us false. But 9 less than 20 is
So where
true
did you input 9?
because 9 is smaller than 20. Someone say something.
So where did you input 9?
Here, let me run it again. If I hit the run button, look at my terminal, the deep blue side of my screen.
Yes,
The code is asking to enter infinity. So I'm entering 9 here. Can you see?
yes, sir.
So if I hit enter now, it's going to print the first one. All right. So remember this particular code in line 25, it obeys this one, but it doesn't obey this one. But because it doesn't obey both of them, this one doesn't run. Can you see? Because it
Yes, sir.
doesn't obey both of them, this
And network today is bad.
Sorry, I can't hear
Very,
you.
Doesn't
very bad. Very bad.
so let's comment out this. Let's to out and state about. Apologies, my apologies, guys. I'm trying my best to liven things up. Hello, guys.
So,
Can you hear me?
yes,
Can
sir.
everyone hear me?
No.
My apologies. Peculiar, you can't hear me, right?
Sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
If can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hold on, this network is spent on frustrating me today. All right, I'm trying to. If you all can hear me, I would like to go on. Okay. All right. Very, very sorry about that distraction. Okay. Um, we already explained how the and operator works, right? You see that for the and operator to work, both sides of the words, both sides of the conditionals must evaluate to true. Whenever we're using and, all right, both sides what this part and this part must evaluate to true. But when you're using or operator, all right, when you're using the or operator, it's only one of them that needs to evaluate to true. If one evaluates to true, the code is going to run. That's for all, right? For all operator, anyone, if one of them evaluates to true, the code is going to run successfully. Okay, so if I hit the run button now, let's take a look. If I hit the run button now, it's asking me for a number between 1 and infinity. Okay, so I enter 9 as usual, and it's going to print out both of them. Listen, it's going to print out both of them. Why? It came here, it tested out for this. Is 9 greater than 7? Yes. Is 9 less than 12? Yes. So because both of them evaluates to true, it prints it out. It comes to this one. Is 9 greater than or equals to 12? No. But is 9 less than 20? Yes. So because 9 is less than 20, it prints this out. All right. That is how the and the or operator works in Python. Do you understand this? I feel you all can't hear me. If you understand, can you just indicate?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. All right. So that's the and operator. All right. So that's basically what we're needing for the assignment I'm about to give. Okay. So I'm going to forward the assignment to your mails. I'm going to forward the assignment to your mails. All right.
Okay, so you're going to forward the
So
assignment to our
I'm
mail.
going to just open it to see what I want you to do. All right.
So
So
I can
if
see
you
it.
are, yes, I'm going for the assignment. Okay. I'm going for the assignment.
You're forwarding into a personal phone number.
If you can, let me see if you can see clearly.
Yeah, my teacher. That's what it looks like. Jesus.
Okay. Sorry, very, very sorry about that. My apologies, guys. Okay, let me quickly run through the assignment to know what, so you know what you are supposed to do. All right. So this is the assignment. You are going to a leap year. All right. So a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4. But
So I can't hear
not
you.
by 100. All right. A year is a leap year if it's divisible by 4. But how about now?
I can't still hear you.
Okay. Hopefully this should work perfectly now. I believe everyone can hear me now. I've resolved everything now, so there should not be any form of complaint again from anyone. Right? Everyone is good, right? Chima, can you hear me? Hello, Chima, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hold on. I think I muted everybody.
Sir, yes, I can hear you. The thing was showing the host is
Okay,
not
you can't
online
unmute
participant.
Sushi.
So,
Okay. All right. So let me explain the assignment quickly. All right. So what the assignment is that a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4, but not by 100. All right. Or if it is divisible by 400. Take note of this or here. All right. Take note of this or here, and take note of this but. All right. I'm trying to give you hints as we are going on. Take note of the or and of the what of the but. A year is divisible by and okay. A year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4 and not by 100, or if it is divisible by 400. Right? So you have to write a program to get years inputs from the user and save it in a variable called what year. That means you have to use the input statements here, right? I'm also going to use the conditional statements and Boolean expressions to determine whether it's a leap year or not. All right? So take, for example, how are we going to do that? All right? Someone is saying something. Okay. You can't unmute yourself. How is that possible? Okay, you can try unmuting now. You can try unmuting yourself now. It should work now.
Yes. So it has shown now.
Okay. All right. I'm going to send the assignment to your mail. I'm just trying to explain it so you know what to do.
Okay, sir.
All right. I'm just trying to explain it so you know what to do. All right. So you are supposed to write an input statement to get the year. All right. So you are going to write a program to get year's input from the user and save it in a variable called year. All right. Use conditional statement and Boolean expression to determine whether it's a leap year or not. Next one is to, if it's a leap year, print out what year is a leap year. For example, print out 2020 is a leap year. If it's not a leap year, print out 2020 is not a leap year. And another hint I gave you is that you might need to convert a variable, you convert a variable year from what? From string data type to an integer data type, since the input function saves input as a string data type. And then you would need to use modulus operator and logical statements, because the condition is that a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4, right? If it's divisible by 4 and not by 100, and if it is divisible by 400. Let's try this out. I'm trying to paste this so I can see. Okay, I think this is loading. The environment is loading. Hold on a little bit. Should come back to normal any moment from now. Oh, hold on. This shouldn't be happening. Sorry, I'm very sorry, guys. You can't unmute yourself again. I thought I already fixed that. No. All right, so let me quickly explain what I want you to do. All right. So what I said is that you're going to use modulus operator and logical statements here, because it says a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4. If a number is divisible by 4, it means that the modulus of that number by 4 is going to give you 0. If a number is divisible by 2, that means 2 divided by that number divided by 2 is going to give you 0. All right. So what I mean here is that if you find the modulus of that number, if you divide the modulus of that number with 4, you are going to get 0. Okay, and that's what we mean by divisible by 4, and not divisible by 7. You have to use the AND operator there. Not divisible by 7 means if you divide by not divisible by 100, sorry. When you divide by 100, you're not going to get 0. Right? When you divide by 100, you're not going to get what? 0. Okay, you have to use the not equal to conditional there. All right, you have to use the modulus operator, and then the last one is that if it is divisible by 400, this thing doesn't come back yet. Okay, let me try and see what I can do. So right here, I said a year is leap year if it is divisible by 4. What do I mean by if it's divisible by 4? Take, for example, I'm giving you 4 modulus 2. All right, 4 modulus 2 is going to give us what? 0. That's because what? 4 divided by 2 is what? 0. And then because it gives us 0, it means what? 4 is divisible by what? By 2. Right, Chima, I've seen your message that you can't unmute yourself. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that, because I'm trying that here also. It's not working. Right, it's not working. Gbemi, are you still host? Right, I don't know, it's not working. Okay, I'll try my best to explain this so everyone can understand it. Okay, so what it's saying here is that if a number is divisible by 7, is the modulus operator. What I was asking Gbemi is because there's a green tick on your name. So I'm thinking it's because when I was logged out, you were the host, and then maybe I don't that enabled that restriction. So I'm going to make you co-host now, so you can. So you should be able to do that now. Okay. So back to what I was saying. If a year is a leap year, that means if it is divisible by 4, for a number to be divisible by a number, use the modulus operator, and if the answer of the modulus gives you 0, that means it is what? It is divisible. All right.
Oh.
Okay. So the next one is going to be 4 modulus.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I don't really understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay, guys, hold on a bit. This is the assignment. All right. The assignment is that your input is going to get a year. I'm trying hard. I'm trying not to know all our past assignment. I've been writing the assignment for you. I'll do like 50% of it, and I like to do 50%. All right. So I want you to do this one by yourself from start to finish. Okay. You're going to use input statements. Get input from the user. Okay. After I get input from the user, convert it to an integer. The input you get from the user is going to be a year in string. So you convert it to an integer and save it in a variable called what? Year. After you do that, you're supposed to use conditional statements to what? To check if it's what? If it's a leap year. And if it's not a leap year, if it's a leap year, print out the year is a leap year. If it's not a leap year, printout is not, okay, my code is running now, hold on. You want to force me to write this code for you? All of you are telling me you don't understand. So quickly, I'm not going to help you out to write MP statements. So let's take, for example, we have our year already as what? 2020. Okay. So the question says that what? The question says that a year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4 and not by 100, or if it is divisible by 400. Okay, so we come here. All right, I'm trying to just put it so I can see it clearly. Okay, so if the year, that's the conditional statement, that if year is what? Divisible by 4. If it's divisible by 4, that means year modulus 4 is supposed to give us what? 0. Right? If it's divisible by 4, that means the year modulus 4 is going to give us 0. That's what I mean by divisible by 4. Okay? And not by 100. That means year, after we've done this, now say and, right? Because what they say, if it's divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100, and what? Year modulus 100, all right, is not equal to what? To 0, right? Then, or, can you see all statements here? Or divisible by 400, or what? Year modulus what? Modulus 400 equals to what? 0. Likewise, here is going to be double equal to. Okay, after we've done this, put our colon. Then we say if this is D, we should print out 2020. That we print out year, comma, is a leap year. If this is met, if this condition is met, you print out this. And then if the condition is not met, that means if this is not met, if this is met, it's going to print out this. So if it doesn't enter this statement, that means it's not a leap year. They're just going to print out year, comma, is not a leap year. Okay. So I'm going to run this now. And what will you see? Sorry, no. So if, okay. So for this place to work, it's going to use if year modulus 4, the opposite of everything, is not equals to 0, and year modulus 100, the opposite of everything, is what? Equals to 0, or what? Year modulus 400 is not equals to 0. All right, we should print this out. That's the opposite of everything. If I should run this now, let's see. The year still obeys everything. I've not taught you the second way. Okay, I'm supposed to cover if else statements before this. Okay, so then let me reduce it to something you can do without if else statements. All right, if a year is divisible by 4 and by 100, okay, so let's work with this. If a year is divisible by 4 and by 100, and year, so you should be able to do the rest now. And year by 100, year modulus 100 equals to 0. All right, someone is saying something in the chat section. I'm sorry, I can't take a look now. Give me a second. Okay, if this is this and this is this, print this. And if not, If not, print out n equals to 4, and this is not what equals to 100. Print this out. So run this. 2020 divisible by 4 equals to 0, and divisible by 100 is not equals to 0. Let's try it out. 2020 modulus 4 is 0, and 2020 modulus 100 is not 0. That's why it's giving us this. Okay, yeah. So, and this. Okay. The condition should be met. If a leap year is divisible by 4 and by 100, print this out. And if not, this. Okay. And if it's not divisible by 4, or sorry, not divisible by 100, should print this out. All right. Is not a leap year. All right. So I just reordered the question so to meet all your conditions. I can't use the else function because I've not taught it here. That will be what we'll cover on Friday. All right. So Gbemi, understand what you're saying. I can't use the else function because of our time. Almost everybody here came late by 30 minutes late. Everyone came 30 minutes too. We were not able to cover the else function. Yes, if you use the else statement, it's going to work well. But because I've not explained it yet and our time is short, we are over 20 minutes past our time. All right. So that's it. I'll forward these questions to your mails so you can just play with it. I've basically done everything already. All right. So just for you to play with it. I'll be ending the class now. If you have any question, you can just ask me before I close. No questions, I believe. No question, anybody?
No, sir.
If we more about you.
No, sir.
Okay. All right then. So I'll be
Bye,
ending
sir.
the. All right. Now have a wonderful day.